Hello and welcome to Patents Live TV. I'm your host, Jeff Bond. This is episode 40, and I have a special guest with me. This is Julie Kuhn, who is the Northeast Patents Site Coordinator. And we're going to talk today about a vendor that has a product, actually two products that we're going to show. And it's the vendor is Cadan Assistive Technologies. And we've got the two products that we have is the Komodo Telca Shield DOS and the Pererro switch interface. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Wanted to go just kind of to their website, give you an idea as to who we're featuring here. And they've got a variety of different products. And again, the two that we're going to be highlighting is the Pererro switch interface and the Komodo Telca Shield DOS right here. And we've got a short video that we'd like to show you. We're going to start with the Telco Shield DOS. A short video we're going to show, and then we're going to do some hands-on with it, show you some configurations that we can do with an iPad, and then we'll jump into the Pererro. So if we could show that, please.
The Telco Shield has ports on both sides, as well as two buttons at the bottom. So on the left side we have two stereo ports for connection to standard switches, such as the classic button press switches. We also have the wheelchair port that can also be used to connect directional controls like the four-way joystick that is available through the Komodo store. And on the right of the Shield we have the USB port for charging the battery. There's also an optional DC charging port that takes anywhere from 7 to 24 volts, and the power switch on the far right. Finally, the bottom of the Shield has two buttons, configuration buttons labeled plus and minus. These buttons can be used to change the mode of the Telco Shield so that you can connect it to different kinds of devices. These include, of course, iOS and Android devices, but also PCs and Macs, which is new for this version of the Shield. The Telco Shield can be configured in one of 6 available modes. Each mode is represented by a different color. So for example, when you power up the Shield for the first time, it will start blinking about once per second after a few moments. With a purple light, and that means you're in the iOS classic mode, so you can connect it to iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. And to go to the Android mode, I will use the switch here. You will have to press on the plus button, press and hold, and this will make the status light change colors until it finally settles on green, which represents the Android mode. There it is, the green Android mode. If you want to go back to the purple iOS classic mode, then you press and hold on the minus button for a few seconds, and the status indicator light will turn purple again. And you can repeat this process as many times as you need to until you find a mode that works for your setup. The quick reference guide also shows the modes that are available for use, which are the purple mode, iOS Classic, which is the usual way in which you've been used to controlling iOS devices with the Telco Shield, relying on voiceover. Then, as I showed, the Android mode, green mode, which is used in combination with the Telco Access app to control Android devices. Then we have the blue mode called App Control, and this mode provides access to apps designed for switch access in iOS, PCs and Macs. We also have the iOS 7 mode, which is a white mode, and it takes advantage of the new switch control feature by Apple. The next mode is four-way navigation, that is the pink mode, and this one is optimized for control of iOS devices using VoiceOver, and this is by users of directional control, such as wheelchair joystick or an external joystick. And then finally we have the mouse keys mode. This is the Aqua mode, and this one is optimized for control of PCs and Macs, also when using joysticks. Now we will be publishing more videos with details on how to set up and use each one of these 6 modes. We will be doing that in the following days, but for now we hope that the process of powering up and setting up the mode for your Tekla Shield is clear.
So pretty informative little video there. Shows you the versatility, I think, of the product and the kinds of things that it can do. And we're going to demonstrate a little bit about some of the things that we can do in real life.
Right. So here is the actual Tekla itself, if you can see that. And so it's exactly what the gentleman in the video showed you. We also have this connected to a switch, as he did. And as you can see, it is on the switch port. Okay? You can see right next to it, it's where a joystick would be attached if you're in a wheelchair. But we're going to come back to that in a moment. Right now, I'm going to switch this with the iPad itself. And if you can see this, I'm going to now activate this in a moment with the iPad, or with the switch. What I have here is set on general, and I'm going to go to accessibility. And you can see now I've gone to, well, it's already going.
Switch control.
It's in switch control, which is right down here. It's turned on, and we've turned on switch control here, and it's in auto scanning. There are different settings, and we can talk about that at another time. So switch control is on. I have one switch set up, and that's on auto scanning. And so now you can see that it's automatically scanning at that rate that often. And now I can control this with the switch.
And the one thing too, when we set this up, under switches,
oh, thank you.
It shows you the different switches that are available, and we happen to have it set up because it's Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go in there, this is the one thing I had to play around a little bit with, is that there are a variety of different settings. And I went ahead and selected select item, so that when we go out and actually use it with the switch access, then that's how you make your major selection. Because I kind of had it messed up a little bit. Much like the name, it's not Tekla, it's Tekla.
It is Tekla, not
okay.
Telka.
Not Telka. Very good.
Okay, so it says Tekla Shield, switch select item, and now we are simply setting it up for select item. So it's really simply a direct select kind of activation. So again, we're using the blue Jelly Bean switch, and we're going to activate it. And that's it. So right now it's direct select. It will click along, and then you select the one you want, and it gives you some more choices. So I'm tapping it, and whatever I've landed on, it will allow you to select it. And so the choices here are tap, scroll, I can go to home, I can do gestures, and I can go to the device or settings.
We also have this set up to scan twice before it defaults and doesn't do anything. So otherwise you can set up for as many times that you want to scan, anywhere from 1 to
9, I think.
I believe it was 9, yeah. So
and then the speed you can adjust as well.
exactly, yeah.
So that is really the real easy part to show you, even though it doesn't look so easy. But you can just adjust it as you need to. I can control this with the switch, and then Jeff can also control this with his hand on the iPad itself.
Which is a real nice feature with somebody that's learning how to use switch access. It's difficult when it's in your switch mode and you try to get out of it and you're clicking the switch and people get frustrated a little bit. It lets me kind of override that, and I still have access to direct select. So now we're doing scanning top to bottom. And if we want to go to another page, we'll let it scan down to this lower part here where the little dots are. And then we can go forward or backward. And you can also change the rate of the delay. So again, we can move back, we can move forward again to a variety of different things. So kind of a neat little Bluetooth device. Did want to just touch base too that the Bluetooth is set up and is connected. Those are the kinds of things that you would have to do, obviously, because it's Bluetooth. So that being said, we'll get out of this. What other way can we use this device then, Julie?
One of the most exciting things about this particular device is that you can use it as a user of a wheelchair. So individuals who require the use of a power wheelchair have plenty to navigate and activate on when they're moving around. So what we could do is take this switch with this it's a 9-pin port, and then simply plug it into the Tekla shield, and then activate any device almost with this. So you can go from using your joystick to navigate your wheelchair to using it to activate a communication system or software. That is one of the most exciting things about this device. You can make phone calls, you can activate a computer, and as well as the iPad and other Android and Mac.
It's really versatile.
Yeah, it's extremely versatile. The point is, this is simulating a joystick to be used on a wheelchair, and then with the right activation and cabling, it can be used to activate communication systems and computers and phones and all sorts of things.
All right, we're going to jump ahead real quick. We've got a little bit of time left. We're going to look at the Pererro. And then Pererro is a really small little device, smaller than the Tekla. And this one is a little different. It's not Bluetooth, it's direct connect. This one is also specifically designed for the I/O devices, the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad devices. And this one currently is the 30-pin. I believe they have a Lightning. The Pererro 2 is a Lightning connection. And just here's what it looks like on the edge. And we've got our connection for our switch. And then it's got a throughput in case we need to plug our iPad in or our iDevice in order to charge it. So real quick, I'm going to reach over here and pop this in. It also works with VoiceOver. VoiceOver is what activates it. Okay, now we can scan across the top. And we're up in messages. And technology is great when it works and not so great when it doesn't work.
Clock, maps,
so again,
videos.
If I wanted to select video,
Double tap to open.
I would hold it instead of double tapping it. Hold it, open, and I have no videos, but
you can download videos from the iTunes store.
But still, it is one of those selections that, as you go through, you're using VoiceOver. Automatically turns on when you unplug it. Automatically turns off. Again, there is no charging of this because it works right off of the device itself. Now with the Tekla, that one does need to be charged, and so you've got some varying types of things to think about. But anyway, two products that we hope you have a chance to really take a look at. We can go to the websites, and actually if you go to the Patents website, if you scroll down to our vendor right here, it gives us our featured vendor. And again today, Cadan Assistive Technology is the vendor that we have. And again, there's information here. And there's also a break on the device cost. So you might take a look at that. Manufacturers suggest retail price is $389 for the Tekla Shield DOS. They'll give it to us in April for $320. And then the Pererro is $222 for those of you that want to purchase it through Patents. So
Very good.
Well, that will end this episode of Patents Live TV. I hope to see you next time, and we'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.